Hey gorgeous people, welcome back to my channel. Thank you to all the new subscribers and returning subscribers. I'm going to do another chakra reading for you, and I'm really excited about this one. I'm going to be using the Shamanic Healing Oracle and look at what energy is in each of your chakras. And then I have a new deck. We will match each Shamanic Healing Oracle deck or card with a Divine Animals Oracle to find out and or confirm what spirit animal or totem you can tap into for that particular chakra to continue the healing. And then I'll probably pull out 3 cards of action from the Magic of Marvel Oracle deck. The channel song currently playing is Cocteau Twins' Know Who You Are at Every Age from the album For Calendar Cafe. One of my favorite albums, one of my favorite groups, and most definitely Elizabeth Fraser is my favorite female voice of all time. All right. It's interesting, I won't, lyrics don't pop up for many of the Cocteau Twins songs because, and this is one of the reasons why I love her voice, is that the way she uses consonants and vowels is astonishing. It's otherworldly. And this, I'm not real and I deny, I won't heal unless I cry. At a previous reading you can check out and talking about how tears literally shed chemicals that are trapped in your brain that affect depression, that affect you and your healing process. When we cry, when we shed those chemicals through our tear ducts, cry, cry, cry till you know why. I lost myself, identify. Cry, cry, cry till you know why. I lost myself, identify. Through the tear ducts, these tears will shed chemicals. And then naturally, or let's be honest, Gaia, your angels, will help your body produce chemicals to replace those old traumatic chemicals that were kind of trapped in your brain, and bring in healing. Because remember, in order to heal, in order to progress in this life, and certainly to heal trauma, we need to remove from the body, remove from the spirit, anything that keeps us stuck. All right, so without further ado, Tame Impala's The Less I Know the Better. Someone said they left together. I ran out the door to get her. Talk about a great artist who is writing and creating music about healing psychically, mentally, physically, emotionally. She was holding hands with Trevor. Not the greatest feeling ever. Said, pull yourself together. You should try your luck with Heather. I'm picking up a wandering soul who needs to release energy from older partners. I'm hearing promiscuity. And in the previous reading, I talk about how we need to clear from our sacral chakra all past partners. No surprise when you're on his shoulder like every night. Oh my love, can't you see that you're on my mind? right, if we don't clear that energy of past partners from us, we feel their emotions, we get their thoughts, and if it's a third party situation, which this sounds like it was, you're also coupling, or that cord of attachment to your past partner is also extended to their current partner, or their past partners. It's something else. Okay, so we'll start with the root chakra, shamanic oracle healing deck. Calling in Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Uriel, and Archangel Gabriel to protect the accuracy of this reading and to provide the collective with accurate messages, but also the 4 elements and energies to help ground us into Mother Gaia and process these emotions and this healing with the heart, with the mind. Psychic development, card number 5. We've got a swan here on water, which represents emotions. Above it, a sun, which represents masculine energy. Water is feminine. And a swan is a symbol of great transformation. In fact, one of the things that activated my psychic development was my first ayahuasca ceremony. It really opened up. And while I did not see concrete images in my first journey, it was more like Nazca lines. It was more like I was seeing Nazca lines, which are found in Peru. Look that up. And young bloods, or the naked and the famous young blood. We're only young and naive still. We require certain skills through psychic development. The mood, it changes like the wind. All right, so going back to my story, I saw Nazca lines in my first ayahuasca ceremony. And I guess my ego was wanting to see, all that I was told one could see in an ayahuasca journey. It wasn't until I think it was my second or third, where at the very end of ceremony, I could make out amongst these geometrical patterns that I was saying since my first, these Nazca lines, like black and white, not sharp edged and angled like geometric shapes, but yeah, kind of like wavy and straight. Nazca lines, look it up, it might resonate. And at the very end of my second or third ceremony, I eked out, very distinct but very small, a swan, which is a very, very powerful spirit animal or totem that is indicative of great transformation. 5 is a number of the mind. 5 also correlates to the Hierophant in the major arcana of the Tarot, and I am a Taurus. So for you, collective, in your root chakra, as long as you stay grounded and balanced with this masculine and feminine, your psychic development is developing. In your sacral chakra, water energy, divine feminine energy, sacred sexuality energy. Card number 25, sexual energy. And here we have a horse. And I'm reminded of the caves in France and in ancient civilizations, early man's drawing of the cycles of the stars. from which they lived life on this planet. And a horse is a symbol of freedom. So confirmation that the psychic development that you've been doing in your root chakra, this rebirth, this swan energy, has cut any cord that your sacral, that somebody else was tying to your sacral chakra, or you had a cord. You know, because it goes both ways, right? You one has to take responsibility for your lifestyle, for who you couple with whom you share sexual energy. Don't beat yourself up. I don't think you are, because I think your third eye has been activated, so you're seeing clearly, looking back to the past, looking at your present, and also, you know, looking at the future with your third eye, and recognizing that yes, you had a responsibility. The bittersweet between my teeth, can you whisper? Trying to find the in-betweens, can you whisper? Fall back in love eventually. Exactly. Clear this out. Yeah. 4 yeahs. So the sexual energy in your sacral is cleared. You're free of those cords. Oh, yes. Sharon Van Etten's Comeback Kid. Love this song. All right, that's in your sacral. And in your solar plexus, masculine fire energy. It's your passion. It's the light that you exude. Reunion of souls. Card number 7. 7 is also a number of the mind. And I didn't mention. You have 5 again, and 2, 4, and 8 are numbers of manifestation. Hey, you're the comeback kid. See me look away. I'm the runaway. I'm the stay out late. I'm recovering. Kid at the top of our street. I was someone like him. I was somebody. Comeback kid. Channeled message I'm getting is, you've made a comeback and are making a comeback, traveling with this freedom of the horse energy in your sacral. So, I just heard a lot of you are returning to your divine feminine energy, and also creativity is going to be returning to you, which is how people from your past, if you've had to like escape from them and cloister yourself and do this dark night of the soul work, this energy healing, cutting cords to them, they want you back. That's the first message. Because they feel that the cord has been cut. And this is also, I'm hearing, has helped them initiate, activate healing within themselves, because they're left with and have to take responsibility for their part in the connection. Kid came back, a real turnaround. Please believe that I want to stay. Got a job now that my brother found. Working nights just a mile away. Don't let me slip away. I'm not a runaway. It just feels that way. In your heart space, oh wait, so solar plexus, reunion of souls. I think, come back kid. Well, let's find out if this is in your future. Obviously, everybody has free will. That's what the divine gives us. So it's definitely going to be up to you whether you go back or answer the call to come back. In your heart space, card number 8, death, scorpionic energy. In your heart space. So take the message. We got Seeker, SEEKIR, by Zola Jesus. Do you wonder what will become? And you know when the fire burns down, it takes fire, scorpionic fire, it takes us all moving closer to somewhere now. Is there nothing left of the great divide? Is there nothing left? Just a hole inside. This horse-like animal, what is it? I'm getting donkey and horse. Are those antlers or ears or both? You know, in this ego death process that you're going through, or death to relationships, yeah, you don't know what's going to become of it. But trust in your heart space that the divine put you through that, or you actively walked through that for a reason. There are no coincidences. So in your throat chakra, which works with the heart chakra of death, card number 8, we have card number 9, perception. So we're moving closer to somewhere now. Is there nothing left of the great divide? Just a hole inside. Ostra's Forgive Me is the next channeled song. What do I have to do to make you forgive me? I wouldn't even tell the world if you could hear. I'm sorry. All right, so we got 5, 7. We have 5, 5, 7. Look at that angel number. Those are numbers of the mind. And then we have 2 and 8. 28th degree is Cancerian energy. 28th degree of our in our zodiacal chart. You know, each house is divided into 3 decans for a total of 30 degrees. 30 times 12 houses is 360 degrees, full circle. And then 9 is the only number out here. 9 is the number of the self, but 3, 6, 9 are numbers of creation. So proceeding here in the death card energy of your heart space, your throat chakra, which is all about truth, it's Taurian energy, it's earth energy, it's of the throat, it's of music and sound production through the throat. You have the yin yang, so nice balance, and a flowering here on the bottom supporting it, or these are leaves. You can see like the branches. Oh, I'm picking up what are they called? Fractal. I mean, everything is fractal. This is a fractal universe as far as I'm concerned. And this is also 3 leaves. 3 is a number of creation. Here you have number 9. So there's a finality, but also a progression from 8 card death to 9th card perception. The death process has opened up your third eye. Because, oh look, too, the death card is mainly comprised of black and white, and then you have the yin yang. And then you have 3 leaves showing this fractal universe, and this is also representative of the tree of life. So that, yeah, there's a nice progression, beautiful, powerful progression. Also, you have black and white in the horse, and then you have black and white in the swan. So no coincidence. What do I have to do? What do I have? What do I have to do to make you forgive me? Oh, it's pretty. I pretty much have read all the lyrics. I wouldn't even tell the world if you could hear. I'm sorry. Heart Attack by Bronson. I've been patient, but I won't follow because I don't want to be your friend. What does it matter in the end? I want a little bit of lightning. No, I don't want to be your friend. So for some of you, you'll make that choice. That will be your response. That's what you're going to speak through your throat chakra. Yeah, speak through the root chakra as well with this psychic development, your third eye again. You see clearly. Dirty epic by Underworld, sweet in winter, sweet in rain. Shake well before use, she said. You never touch me, not anymore this way. Okay. In the third eye chakra, which works with the seven reunion of souls in the solar plexus. If you think about it, the eye needs light to see, and the solar plexus, sun energy, emits light. You have card number 44, which is numbers of Gaia. It's also numbers of archangels and angel energy. And then you have two numbers of manifestation to add to this 8, and 8 or 4 plus 4 is 8. So some synchronicity there. Rage is a quiet thing. This is Simmer by Haley Williams. Ooh, you think that you tamed it. I mentioned tame Impala. It is just lying in wait. Rage, is it in our veins? Feel it in my face when I least expect it. Give in. Control. There's so many ways to give in. Eyes closed. And I'm getting the tears. So, you got Reunion of Souls, and you have the Home card. Some of you will go back. Or maybe it's this death perception has created for you a new home that you may have to travel to. We've got feathers also representing angel messages. We have sort of like Nazca line designs. This reminds me of some of the domiciles, the homes in Peru when I visited and sat in my first ayahuasca ceremony. And we have the sun above and the stars and the moon in the background behind this home, again in black and white. Interesting. That's in your third eye. All right, last but not least, in the crown. Crown is paired with this sexual energy, card number 25. We have card number 27, stripping illusions. Again, manifestation, number 2, and one that's personal and balanced, and number 7, which is of the mind. So you've gone from 25 to 27. Sexual energy to stripping illusions. Yeah, some of you will see that the cords, when attached, and you were struggling to cut it, and when you were in that relationship with that person, creates a lot of illusions, a lot of veils that you're wearing. Very scorpionic energy, 7 of Cups energy. Okay, bottom of the deck, sacred space, 21. So we have home, that you're seeing in your third eye. You're going to create a sacred space. Again, kind of like a Nazca line here. This reminds me of something else. What is it? Maybe it'll resonate with you, collective. But yeah, you know, the psychic development, the sexual energy, cud courting, reunion of souls. I just heard is a reunion of your soul to your higher self, where it's a coming back to home within yourself with a 4-4. There's so many ways to give in. Eyes closed. Another way to make it to 10. Exactly. 10 is a number of completion. And how to draw the line between wrath and mercy. You gotta simmer, simmer, simmer. Beautiful. All right, now let's ask the spirit. What animals Hideaway by Daya Boys seem to like the girls who laugh at anything, the ones who get undressed before the second date. Yeah, cord cutting, sexual energy. All right. Guessing I just don't know where to find them. Speaking of Mr. Right, but I hope they all come out tonight. Where do the good boys go to hide away, hide away? I'm a good girl who needs a little company. Looking high and low, someone let me know. All right, I cut them. I'm gonna shuffle a little bit. All right, I'm excited to use this deck. It's new to me, so I will most likely consult the guidebook, which, oh, here's a channeled message for all you readers out there and deck designers and those who are getting into tarot and oracle decks and maybe reading for yourself. Trust that the amount of time and energy that a creator of a deck, here Stacey DeMarco, put into it and then put into the guidebook, trust that it's very powerful energy. So I also recommend, although I'm not doing it right now because I have my own sort of unique spread, and I already set the intention to do this reading using these cards in this way, but I'll often use one of the spreads suggested in the guidebooks. Trust that the hours, the weeks, the months, sometimes years, and the lifetime of that particular psychic medium and channeler and creator puts into a deck. Use the deck as intended. All right. Where do the good boys go to hide away? So in your root chakra, along with card number 5, psychic development, the suggested animal, spirit animal or totem is rhinoceros, moderation. Hide away. Looking high and low, someone let me know. On a repetition. Rhinoceros, moderation. Seek moderation in all things. Find a middle path, especially when you're developing your psychic intuition, your powers. Not everything is an extreme choice of black versus white, which we saw in the death card and the sexual energy. Being passionate about something is positive, but to be obsessed may not be. Leave behind what you no longer need. The rhinoceros comes from Hindu Vedic god of fire. Arkani rides a rhinoceros with a horn so large it clears the path for all. There are 5 species of rhinos left in the world, and all are in danger of becoming extinct. So sad. This is mainly because of the trade in rhino horns for so-called medicinal purposes and habitat loss. Asia, specifically Vietnam, is the largest market for rhino horn. Shame on them. It is said that the source of all passion and fire in the world, and that this fire can either burn for good or be out of control. Arkani gives the fires to purify blessings. He gives the fire that a marrying couple walk around to signify the home, and he gives the fire that cooks food for nourishment. I'll have you take a look at it while I connect it to your root chakra. What I just heard was, and what I believe, the root chakra is earth energy. And I think there's the 2 elements that are best for manifestation, in my opinion, is fire and earth. But as Stacey DeMarco writes, be careful. Everything must progress in moderation. as an intuitive dominant, as an INTP is my reported type, as an ENTP is my best fit type, I've discovered that all my life, well, once I hit my 20s, when I was out of high school, because your MBTI develops by age 14, and then that third tertiary function gets worked middle school, high school, and early 20s. I was aware instinctively that I couldn't stay, or I couldn't continue to be so introverted. As an INTP, your dominant function is TI, introverted thinking. So I started to switch it up and do extreme things. Really focusing on my fears, identifying what my fears were, and then slowly working up the nerve to conquer them, or try something that I would only sit back and watch other people do. This is card number 32. 3 is a number of creation. 2 is a number of manifestation. And 3 and 2 is 5. 5 is psychic development. All right, so in your sacral, paired with sexual energy, you have Orca, song lines. Go and check out the reading I posted about Sandalphon and how healing sexual cords of attachment, trauma, energy from your sacral chakra. I've used music to do it. So no coincidence here. Card number 25, sexual energy. And now card number 30, Orca, song lines. And look at I'm also picking up dreamscape. Pay attention to your dreams. Also, when you close your eyes and you're listening to music, lots of images come through, as well as emotions and feelings. Let's check out the guidebook. Song lines. Orca. Orcas are they mammals? Yeah. Are they fish? They're mammals. I don't know. They're fish mammals. Are beautiful. Black and white again. And they have a bad reputation of being killers. I lived in Alaska for 15, 16 years, and would often see orcas in the channel. And being so near them, and being a Heyoka Empath, I picked up their story, and they're very, very social animals, and playful and fun, and quite caring. And here in the sexual energy of the sacral, I'm getting feminine, nurturing, and lovers of man. So this bad reputation of being killers of man is definitely way off. Songlines. You are walking in the bloodlines of your ancestors, but you are an individual who makes your own destiny. Seek better communication with family. Nourish yourself and exercise extreme self-care. Share your skills with others. The Inuit mythos Sedna was a beautiful maiden who refused marriages arranged by her father, instead preferring to commune with nature. Her father had enough of this disobedience and married her off to the very next hunter who came along, a man who offered much fish to the family. Knowing his daughter would resist, Sedna's father gave her a sleeping potion to drink, and she awoke far from her home in the company of her new husband. That's awful. So, with this call, this song line of the orca, you're being called to seek better communication with family. So there might be some sexual or some maternal, feminine, divine energy in the sacral that is connected to your family. Oh, I'm also picking up, if there was any SA or just a lot of sexual energy in the home. I'm picking up scorpionic water energy, fixed water energy, which is really cold and dark, but very sexual. The cord cutting that you've just gone through, It Could Be Sweet by Portishead played while I was reading Orca. Now we have Mezzanine by Massive Attack. I'm a little curious of you in crowded scenes, and now serene your friends and fiends. I'm a little curious of you in crowded scenes, and how serene your friends and fiends. We flew and strolled as two illuminated gently. Why don't you close your eyes and reinvent me? Cutting those cords to SA these generational curses and entities that are attached to our parents or other members of our family, passed down through generations, manipulation of marriages, as Sedna was subject to in the Inuit mythology. When you do the work and you heal those traumas, cut those cords, you're breaking generational curses, first off, and again, you're also healing those who you've left behind. They may return, spending all week with your friends. Give me evenings and weekends. Evenings and weekends. I could be yours. We can unwind. Maybe this upcoming weekend, you might give somebody a call or hang out with someone from your past. We can unwind. All these have flaws. All these have flaws. You'd agree it's a typical high. And I'm hearing, the mix of alcohol and drugs with these familial curses that you're breaking, collective, mixed with sexual energy and SA. These are demons, these are entities that attach, incubus, succubus, Jezebel spirit, to your loved ones who perpetrated on you. And because you, collective, have done the work, the sexual energy healing in your sacral and cord cutting, again, you're breaking generational curses. So this energy, these entities, these demons aren't going to be passed on to your kids. So what am I hearing? I could be yours, we can unwind. All these have flaws. Yeah. The forgiveness and compassion that you've developed through this dark night of the soul, through this healing of the sacral and cord cutting, it almost awakens the perpetrators. And you learn through the process that they were most likely victims themselves. But you're strong, collective, and you have broken those patterns in your family bloodlines. We're victorious. All right, so in your solar plexus, with 7 card Reunion of Souls, you have Armadillo. groundedness, card number 7. So we have 77. 7 is a number of the mind. It's the final number of the mind. It's also a number, like if you're an Enneagram fan, it's very creative, artistic, think actor, but it's also somebody who's able to, with their own light, so long as they remain grounded. Oh, we have the Maya. I have past lives in Mayan civilizations. And I visited Chichen Itza twice. I love the Yucatan. In fact, it was my first ancient site and pyramid that I ever visited when I was in my early 20s. When I started this extreme swing in my cognitive functions in order to break out of that TI dominant, which can be very stuck. I recently typed an ISTJ, and he's a Gemini. So no coincidences. TI and Gemini rules the third house. That's the mind of intellect. And I was explaining to him a lot of things about himself, and he's like nodding. We were walking, and a car passed in front of us, and it didn't have its blinker on. And that's something I always notice as well. And I'm sure to indicate, even if I'm pulling into a parking lot, and this car was pulling out of a parking lot, we were on the sidewalk, walking to our destination, and he is very TI, because TI dominants have FE, extroverted feeling, as their inferior function. It's very like disgust with, I'll say disgust, and very little patience with tribes and just other people. He told me a story once we reached our destination that he was at work and he was performing, this is a new job too, he was performing a task, and all his coworkers were standing around kind of laughing because he didn't notice that what he was pouring into this vessel in part was also spilling out and creating this puddle around the vessel. And he just went off. He's like, how could they stand there and laugh and not at least tell me, because he's all about knowledge, and he's very, very capable. TI is I think one of the most intelligent, and as an ISTJ he has extroverted sensing as his auxiliary function. So I was telling him when this car failed to indicate that they were wanting to pull in or pull out, and in what direction of this parking lot, that's something an ISTJ notices, or it's something that TI notices, especially with extroverted sensing, is his auxiliary function. The details in the 3D experience using the 5 senses is just on point. Things that most people let go as unnoticed, we as TI dominants, because my base type is, my reported type is INTP and my best fit type is ENTP. I just learned at an early age to use my intuition, and I think that's what pulled me in these extreme positions. So, Armadillo, card number 7. Groundedness. Without grounding ourselves, we can become disconnected and flighty. So it is an important aspect to develop. Go to the basics first. Plug into the power of the earth, absolutely. Avoid drama in situations. Sometimes we need to look at the flowers at our feet before looking to the stars. Humility is a positive trait. False humility is not. The God walks slowly but surely upon the earth. He is of high age and leans a little on his walking stick but moves smoothly. Oh, these are Aztecs. Armadillos also feature in the mythos of the Aztecs, who called them turtle rabbits, and in some of the First Nation stories of the peoples of the southern United States. Because the Maya did they moved once their population died out. However it happened, they moved into the southern United States. So there are actual, I think it's on federal land, maybe state land, there are actual stone sites in Georgia that I know of that were recently closed to the public. And maybe after one individual who not discovered this, but had done some drone activity over the site. Anyway, yeah, the Maya did navigate. They traveled to the southern states when their civilization ended. Crime Wave by Crystal Castles. On sharp threats from dark lips, but lights press, the soft skin, the rough hands. Groundedness in the reunion of souls. Both card number 7. Yeah, if you do decide to reunite with anyone after the work that you've been doing, after this healing, after the great change, just make sure you remain grounded. And I'm hearing, even before you place a call or text someone, and some of you should expect to remain grounded, because you should expect communication from the people who have felt you disconnect from them energetically. In your heart space, along with the number 8 death card, you have ancestors. Card number 26, 2 and 6 is 8. And you have the polar bear. 26 is the number of Taurus, and it also happens to be my birthday in the month of April. 2 and 6 is 8. So 2 is a number of manifestation, and 6 is a number of creation. And 2 plus 6 is 8. That's a number of manifestation in the physical 3D world. The 26th degree of the decan, or of the house, is Taurus. The polar bear, Ursus maritimus. Ancestors, you are the carrier of a bloodline that stretches back for millennia, yet you are uniquely your own self. Take the positive from your ancestry and observe and note the negative. Family dysfunction stops here. What was I saying about SA? Alcohol abuse, these entities, incubus, succubus, and Jezebel spirits. Honor those in your family who honor you. It is a positive, natural action to individuate. Carl Jung's process that he coined, it's basically the dark night of the soul. More confirmation that you are the swan now. And yes, once we individuate, once we go through the dark night of the soul, our third eye opens. This is what Jung found. Jung used tarot, hello people, to aid the process. It is a positive and natural action to individuate from our family on our own terms. So yes, it's going to be up to you whether or not you reconnect with these people. They feel it. Heads up. You're seeing in your throat chakra, 9 card and perception. Yeah. You've got card number 24, which is Pisces. It's the final house. It's the house of endings. And you have freedom with the horse, which you had in in card number 25 in your sacral chakra. So, and freedom and the horse card precedes. Yeah, freedom and perception. You're perceiving you have freedom now that you've done the work. And also the act of freeing these cords from your sacral is bringing in a lot of perception and a lot of creativity to you. Spectre by Tycho. It's an instrumental. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, hello, let's go. To be truly free, we must learn true independence, trust yourself, individuation. As listening to people who may have other agendas is not the way to make good, clear decisions. Individuation from our parents is a natural process, although it is often fraught with difficulty on both sides. Your true power resides in your ability to always know you have a choice, and it's yours to make. In the third eye, card number 44 of home, you have card number 10. 10 is a number of endings and beginnings at the same time, and you have Lord Ganesh and leadership with the elephant, wisdom, and clearing of obstacles with your third eye. Leadership. This is a time to step forward and lead, and it is now. Be the leader in your own life. If you want something achieved, take the lead yourself. Be the example that others will follow. Do not lead by force, but instead by inspiration. The Hindu goddess Ganesha was shaped from the earth by the goddess Parvati. When her husband Shiva returned after a long time away from home, the first thing he saw was a handsome young man with Parvati. In his anger, he attacked the young man, severing his head. Parvati then revealed who Ganesha was, and Shiva sent his soldiers to return with the head of any sleeping being that was facing the north. An elephant was found, and its head was attached to the body of Ganesha. The life of Ganesha was restored, and Shiva declared that from then on, this elephant-headed young man would always be loved by the community, and his name invoked as a joyful blessing prior to the beginning of major undertakings such as business, developments, and projects of all kinds. The individuation process, this freedom from defamation of character, being misunderstood, all these cords of attachment, these perceptions of other people about who you are destroyed and cleared away in the individuation process, because you become an example, a leader, and you inspire those who did you dirty or who may in your bloodlines passed on narcissistic abuse, SA and the like, alcoholism and the like. They're seeing you as incredibly wise here with the elephant, but also incredibly powerful. And like the swan, but we have the death card, which is fiery phoenix. You know, you have a new life and a new energy about you that can't be denied, and is inspiring others as much as it had to, or as much as it kills them to admit. They're perceiving it, that you are free from them. And last but not least, in the crown, along with stripping illusions, you have card number 36. 3 and 6 is 9. You have purpose and the shark. When I was trying to classify the orca, whether it was a fish or a mammal, I first thing that popped into my head is a shark. Oh, and look, we have a mermaid or a siren. I have to look up the mythology of mermaids, because I understand them to be deadly to men. But I think I may have been a mermaid in a past life, because I'm getting the message that you should learn and understand and utilize the meaning of your first, middle, and last name. My first name is Brandon. It's Celtic. It means beacon on the hill, or hill with broom. Broom is a name for like a shrub that flowers. But the first definition, I've always kind of beacon on the hill, light on the hill. My middle name, Curtis, means courteous one, and Demery, D-E, which is French. D-E-M-E-R means of water or of light. So there's great synchronicity in names. Learn them as much as you learn your own numerology. For example, my first name is a 5, and my last name is a 7. 7 and 5 is 12. I have a 12th house stellium. Card number 5 of the major arcana is Taurus energy, and of the Hierophant. I'm a Hierophant. So you'll notice synchronicity in your numerology, in your name's numerology, and the meaning of the name as well. This is how people perceive you, whether they know it or not. And this is this is a description of your energy about you. Understanding that is a part of the individuation process, because it separates you from others. It separates me from, well, the combination of my first and last, and my middle, separates me from other Brandons. I even was Facebook friends with another Brandon Demery at one point. We became friends simply because we had the same first and last. So learn the meaning of your name, as well as your numerology and your astrology. If you're interested in typing, if you're interested in me looking at your chart, go to Entpgathering.com and check out my store, where you'll find some typing services or products you can purchase. And if you go to my services page, you'll see a whole list of services I do for celebrities. I do for you collective, do readings. I'll unpack certain songs that you replay over and over in your head or are listening to on your playlists, because that's spirit sending you messages, or that's your subconscious wanting to give you information. All right, I think I'm gonna end it here. Bottom of the deck, we have the wolf and authenticity. We've been talking about the individuation process and how important it is to be authentic. This is the result of going through an individuation process. Carl Jung knows this. And we have card number 17, which is the star card, major arcana. And 1 is the number of the first house of the self, and 7 is a house of Libra, which is the opposite sign of Aries, and it's all about relationships. So what have we been talking about? This individuation of the self from our past relationships, here in the wolf. All right, I hope this resonated with you. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. Trust in the messages that do resonate, and take Spirit's advice. Close Your Eyes by Kim Petras is the want your legendary kiss. You know I got designer taste, and your design's too good to waste. Expect an incoming message, or all eyes are on you, and these old past lovers are pining for you, craving you, because many of them are yet to heal. But trust that as long as you continue to inspire them, that the cord cutting you did has activated that process for them. Many of us who consider ourselves light workers, shamans, healers, Heyoka Empaths, that's our purpose. And we had to go through the process in order to be an example for everybody in our lives, everybody connected to our bloodlines, karmic and positive soulmates in our life. They're going to be reaching out. I'm hoping many of you reach out for my services because I can help in a safe, conscious way. I can help you move through this individuation process or activate you in a healthy, conscious way. You know, for me, it was like the universe and literally the transits and my experiences, what a lot of people took as extreme, like going through 14 ayahuasca ceremonies. The last 4 were at Rhythmia. I'm gonna give a shout out to Shit Out. Yeah. I mean, that's part of the purging process. In ceremony, purging is necessary and shouldn't be feared. When many of you think about sitting in ayahuasca ceremonies, it's a purging of old energies. It's a purging of demons and entity attachments. It's a clearing of all your chakras so that you can then begin to receive downloads. And boy, my first 10, I didn't see a lot of what others were seeing in their ayahuasca ceremonies, from aliens to very look up ayahuasca art on Google it and look at the images. That's very, very close to what I experienced. But I wasn't, in my first 10, I wasn't seeing a lot of distinct images at all. Animal totems or spirit animals or other people or aliens. And I only drank 1 cup each night in my 4 ceremonies. Where in prior ceremonies, I could do upwards of, 3 or 4 ounces. That's because Rhythmia does it so well. And the shamans, I worked with 3 different shamans. Well, 6. No, 5. Coincidentally, over the 4 nights, and then assisting with the purging, both coming out the mouth and the eyes, tears, laughter, crying, wailing, shouting. A lot of people were going through. It was really purging. Ancestral woundings, narcissistic wounding, SA. I could feel it. But the images, I mean, I met aliens. I had actually they taught me how to do my own, they call it operations. So after they worked on my body, there's another type of purging that I experienced in my 2nd or 3rd ceremony where I saw the swan for the first time. And if you're looking at me while I'm in ceremony and doing this, it's a very violent looking movement of my limbs. And they first started in my pelvic region, my sacral chakra, where it kind of looks like a seizure or convulsion of types or a seizing up of muscles. And it happened in my sacral chakra, in my hip joints, where my legs would like slam together and like stick, and then they would relax. And then next was, which makes total sense because that's like root chakra energy, the base of your spine, your pelvis. The next was in the neck, so my head would whip, like first it was whipping to the left, which makes sense because the ayahuasca journeying for me and the healing I needed to do was on the left side of my body, which is the intuitive side of the body. It's where I receive all of my messages. And if should I turn my head to the right, which eventually started happening, it just looks like I'm whipping myself, and then the arms would come up and kind of like seize in these weird positions. Again, looking kind of like a seizure. If you were looking at me while doing this, you might think it would hurt. It was scary at first. It's like, what the hell is this? And I immediately got an answer. It's like, oh, it's a purge. So in addition to the diarrhea and the vomit and the tears and the laughter and the crying, there's also just throughout your body energies that are being pushed out, all through, done by alien spirits, if you believe in that, ancestors, and Pachamama, the earth, Gaia, working with grandmother ayahuasca and the serpent spirit, also the condor and the jaguar spirit. So I highly recommend Rhythmia. It's in Costa Rica. They have a full medical staff, doctors on hand should anything go wrong, but you're so well taken care of. And I was in a group of like 50 at least, I think, or around that, which worried me going into my first ceremony because I already knew that I was highly that I absorbed everybody's energy, because in my prior 10 ceremonies, at most there were like 12 or 15 others. But boy oh boy, that first ceremony number 11, which corresponds to the Justice card or Strength card, and then 12, ceremony 12 was the Hangman, which is all about sacrificing things. Card number 13 is the Death card, which we saw here. Card number 8 in your heart space. And then ceremony 14 is the Temperance card, Earth Angel energy, the Alchemist energy, healing energy, and getting rid of old and pouring in new waters into your cup of life, or the Holy Grail. So there are no coincidences, folks, and I highly recommend, if you are considering or you've booked at Rhythmia or another qualified professional legal place, or you vetted a very good shaman, ideally who does their work in Brazil or Peru, I highly recommend you do some ayahuasca journeying. So if you're looking into it, you want some more information, book a consultation with me. We'll talk for an hour. If you've already booked and want some advice on how to prepare, and many of these qualified institutions will prepare you quite well, but I can provide even more information and allay any fears that you have, and answer all your questions about how to prepare, what to expect, and most importantly, how to integrate the experience in your everyday life once you return from your journeys, which, in my opinion, Rhythmia prepares you and provides lots of information during the process. I even purchased their 1 year program, which consists of a lot of videos and recipes and practices for the integration of the medicine in your, in this 3D life. But I think it falls short of I don't think there's a program out there that does a really good job about integrating. Most shamans will spend time after the ceremony with the group for 2, 3, 4 hours, but still that's not enough, because once you go home, there's just the energy, the medicine's still in you, and it will stay in you for the rest of your life. Trust me. I felt the first ceremony for years after. But I have developed a whole program where I take what I've learned from their integration methods and advice, but I've added to it astrology, numerology, and NLP. I'm certified as an NLP practitioner. And we're going to find out what your cognitive functions preferences are, in what rank they are, 11 or 111, 31 seconds. As I say this, I combine all of that, especially your astrology. If you haven't sat in ceremony and are ready to book, consult with me, and we'll look at, I'll look at your chart, and we'll figure out the best time of year for you to do that. As it happens, I think 2 or at least half of the ceremonies I sat in at Rhythmia was when the moon was in the sign of Taurus. I'm a quad Taurus. My moon is in the sign of Taurus. But I wasn't into astrology or as much as I am now. So it wasn't a surprise to me, and the moon is exalted in the sign of Taurus. It loves being in that sign. And when the moon is in the sign of Taurus, everybody feels it down here because it's fixed earth energy. So I did a lot of consulting with the moon, actually, where literally I would go out outside and look up and gaze at the moon, and I've had these conversations with the moon. They didn't come through in words, but I totally understood what she was, because I looked to the moon as my mother that I never had, offering up advice through intuition and downloads, but just a beautiful, loving, healing energy that comes from Mother Moon. Well, anyway, we can talk a lot more about my experience and how I navigated through my ceremonies, my journeying. So if you booked or you've already gone through ceremonies, and I don't care if it's been a year since the last time you sat in ceremony, consult with me, and I'll type you, and we'll get you back on a path of integrating the medicine, because it never leaves your spirit. So without further ado, 114, as I said that, 14, Temperance card, 11, Justice card, or Strength card. I appreciate a like, a share. I accept donations, and will pray for you and wish it back to you tenfold. And again, if you'd like any information on my services that I provide, check out Entpgathering.com. Also, you can follow me on Apple Music. You can follow my station, The Pleiadian High Priest, if you search for Entpgathering on Apple Music. All right, until next time, namaste.